The film opens underwater, where a woman floats in a dreamy, otherworldly scene. It's quiet, peaceful, but strange. This is her reality. Or at least it seems to be. Suddenly, an alarm rings, snapping her back. It was all just a dream. No, she wakes up. This is Elisa Esposito, a mute woman with a quiet, simple life. She begins her day with a calm routine. She runs a bath and drops a few eggs into a pot of boiling water. While they cook, she sinks into the tub, relaxed and lost in her thoughts. Later, Elisa packs her dinner for work. She also makes an extra plate for her neighbor and close friend, Giles. She heads to his apartment, hands him the food, and they sit together watching an old musical on TV. They both love the dancing. When it's time to go, Elisa twirls happily through the hallway on her way out. Outside, she runs into her landlord, who also runs the cinema downstairs. They exchange a quick hello before Elisa heads to the bus stop. She arrives at her job, a top-secret government research facility, just in time for her night shift. Her best friend and coworker Zelda is already there and saves her a spot to punch in. The two of them work on the cleaning crew. Eventually, they make their way to a restricted lab with a large pool in the center. Fleming, the head of security, introduces Dr. Hofstadler, the scientist in charge of a new asset that's about to arrive. As Fleming talks about how important the asset is, it shows up, sealed inside a pressurized tank. It's being delivered by a stern government agent named Strickland. While the men coordinate the transfer, Elisa hears strange noises coming from inside the tank. She leans in and touches the glass, curious, but this upsets Dr. Hofstadler, who quickly asks them all to leave. The creature is agitated. The next day, Elisa and Giles go out to his favorite diner for some key lime pie. Giles tries to strike up a friendly chat with the bartender, clearly hoping there might be something more there one day. Later, they eat the pie back at Giles' apartment, and it's awful. But it's clear Giles only goes there to see the bartender, not for the food. That night at work, Elisa and Zelda are cleaning the washroom when Strickland walks in. He washes his hands before using the toilet, and then goes ahead while the women are still there. Elisa tries to move a cattle prod he left on the counter, but he warns her not to touch it. He explains how dangerous it is, and casually tells them why he doesn't wash his hands afterward. The way he talks says a lot about him. Before leaving, he offers them a friendly goodbye, and even seems to take a special interest in Elisa. Zelda doesn't like him already. Later, while taking out the trash, Elisa and Zelda hear a noise. The lab door bursts open, and Strickland stumbles out, bleeding. Scientists and military rush to help, trying to contain the chaos. Zelda quickly pulls Elisa away. At dinner, the women talk about what they saw. Soon after, Fleming calls them in to clean up the lab. The place is a mess, blood everywhere. As they clean, Elisa finds something horrifying: Strickland's severed fingers. She carefully places them in a paper bag while Zelda goes to get Fleming. Then Elisa sees him, the amphibian man they're keeping in the lab. Zelda returns with Fleming, and Elisa quietly hands him the bag with Strickland's fingers. The next morning, Elisa tells Giles everything, but he doesn't believe her, not about the creature. Instead, he shows her a new ad he's painted. He plans to take it to his former boss, hoping for some work, or maybe even his old job back. When Giles meets with his boss, he's told the ad needs changes. The client wants something different. The boss says he'll see what he can do about Giles' job, but it doesn't sound promising. That night, Elisa returns to work and sneaks back into the lab. She hears the creature moving in the water and gets an idea. She cracks an egg. Slowly, the creature rises above the surface. Elisa gently holds the egg out, but when she moves too close, he panics. She sets it down and signs a word with her hands. He calms, picks up the egg, and then quickly dives back under. Just then, Zelda catches Elisa leaving the lab. She tells her Strickland wants to see both of them, immediately. In the next scene, the women sit across from Strickland in his office. The conversation is long and awkward. He asks a lot of questions, especially about Elisa. He reads in her file that she was orphaned as a baby. Zelda adds that Elisa was found by the river in the water. Strickland thanks Elisa for finding his fingers. In response, she gives him back his wedding ring. As he talks about the surgery where doctors stitched his fingers back on, he realizes something. Elisa can't speak, but she can hear. Curious, he asks if the scars on her neck are why she's mute. Elisa doesn't think so. She's never been able to speak, not since she was a child. Before they leave, Strickland warns them to stay away from the creature in the lab. He tells them it was brought over from South America, and even though it might look human, it's still a monster in his eyes. As the women walk away, Strickland gets a phone call. It's a general, letting him know he'll be visiting the facility soon. Meanwhile, the creature seems to be thinking about Elisa. It softly repeats the sign she taught him, for egg. That night, Elisa waits for the lab to empty out. Once the scientist leaves, she wheels in a record player from her cleaning cart and sets it beside the pool. She puts on some music and offers the creature an egg. As she bites into her sandwich, he takes the egg, but stays underwater. She pauses the music, trying to get him to come out. Curious, the amphibian man pokes his head out and grunts. Elisa smiles and restarts the record. She shows him the sign for music, and he picks it up quickly. He enjoys the sound, and even more, their quiet moments together. Over the next few nights, Elisa keeps visiting him with boiled eggs and music. They even start to dance together. One evening, Hofstetler walks in while bringing the creature's food. He sees what's happening between Elisa and the creature, but doesn't interrupt. Instead, he quietly walks away, realizing this connection is something special. Later, Hofstetler meets with his real bosses, Soviet agents, at a hidden location. After giving the security code, he's taken to the lead agent. He hands over all his notes and a blueprint of the lab to help plan an extraction. He urges them to act fast. He believes the creature is intelligent and capable of communication. The agent nods and promises to pass along the message. Back at work, Elisa is in the laundry room when she learns how to disable the security camera if she ever needs to. That night, she sneaks into the lab and finds the creature chained up and badly hurt. She wants to help, but then hears Strickland returning and hides. The creature screeches in pain as Strickland walks in, casually mocking it and using a cattle prod to torture it. Elisa is horrified. The general soon arrives and is stunned by the creature's size and appearance. Strickland tells him that the tribes in the Amazon worshipped it like a god. The men scoff at the idea, saying the creature doesn't look like much of one. When Hofstetler checks the creature and asks why it's bleeding, another scientist explains that it can switch between two separate breathing systems. It's a rare and amazing organism, possibly key to major scientific discoveries. But instead of being impressed, the general and Strickland mock both the creature and Hofstetler. That's when Hofstetler spots Elisa hiding in the lab. He also realizes the creature is struggling to breathe. It's been out of the water too long. He begs Strickland to put it back into the tank. Strickland ignores him. He's too focused on impressing the general. He insists that dissecting the creature is the only way to learn more. Hofstetler disagrees, but when the creature passes out, he has no choice but to order the men to move it to the pressure tank. Then he leaves with Strickland and the general to talk about next steps. Elisa follows them, desperate, and overhears everything. They plan to kill and dissect the creature. Later, she rushes to Giles, begging him to help get the creature out, but he refuses, scared they'll be breaking the law. That's when Elisa finally opens up. She tells him she loves the creature. He doesn't see her as broken or silent. He sees her as whole. Still, Giles doesn't believe this is right. He's not even human, he says, and leaves. Elisa runs after him, signing desperately, "If we don't help him, then we're not human either." Giles walks away. In the next scene, Giles meets his old boss, only to find out the ad changes weren't even needed. The client changed direction, and he's not getting his job back. Meanwhile, Hofstetler meets with his Soviet contacts again. He tells them the creature will be killed soon. His boss gives him two options: delay the procedure, which isn't possible, or cut the power at the facility and kill the creature himself. Hofstetler doesn't like either option. He's loyal to science, not politics. His boss pushes him. There's no other choice. At the same time, Strickland goes out and buys a flashy, expensive car, one in a color he actually hates, but the salesman convinced him it's what everyone's getting. That night, while Hofstetler checks on the creature, Elisa secretly studies the lab's layout and exits, planning how to break him out. Zelda notices her and starts to suspect something. Meanwhile, Giles gets his van ready to look like one of the laundry vans used at the facility. Later, he and Elisa go over the plan. Fake documents, timing it all for 5 a.m., Elisa will disable the cameras, and the creature will be transported in a laundry cart. Elsewhere, Hofstetler prepares the poison he's been ordered to use, but it's clear he's torn up about it. Back at the facility, Elisa waits in the staff locker room as everyone starts to leave. Once it's quiet, she heads to the loading dock to move the security camera. On the other side of the building, Hofstetler makes one last effort to convince Strickland not to go through with the killing. While they argue, Hofstetler spots Elisa on the monitor, moving the cameras. Realizing Strickland won't back down, he makes a quick decision. He'll help her. Elisa gets the laundry cart ready. Zelda waits nervously by the elevators, but starts to worry when Elisa doesn't show. Elisa reaches the lab, where Hofstetler is already there. She lifts the creature from the water, and he hands her the keys to the chains. He explains what to do, how to care for the creature, and what to mix into the water to keep him alive. He says he'll cut the power and give her exactly 5 minutes, then meet her at the loading dock. As Elisa rolls the laundry cart out of the lab, Giles pulls up outside, ready. Hofstetler hurries off to find the main power fuse. Giles arrives at the facility, but gets stopped by the military police at the gate. Meanwhile, Hofstetler sets the timer on his device to cut the power. Things start moving fast. Elisa wheels the creature out of the lab, but Zelda catches her in the act and tries to stop her. Under 2. At the same time, Strickland sees Giles's van on the security feed and immediately senses something's off. He calls the MP at the gate. The MP pulls a gun on Giles and demands he step out of the van. Just then, boom, the power goes out. Hofstetler rushes Elisa toward the loading dock with the creature, and seeing what's happening, Zelda finally decides to help. Hofstetler then takes down the MP, clearing the path for Giles to reach Elisa. Around, all 4 of them quickly load the amphibian man into the van, and Giles drives off, leaving Zelda and Hofstetler behind. But in his awe at the creature's beauty, Giles crashes into Strickland's car, which gives security time to catch up and open fire. Despite the chaos, the van escapes and Strickland is left fuming. Later that night, Elisa and Giles get the creature settled into her bathtub so he can breathe. They celebrate. They actually pulled it off. The next morning, as Strickland investigates what went wrong, Elisa starts planning how to return the creature to the ocean. She decides to wait for the October rains and marks the date on her calendar. Later, she shares a sweet moment with the creature, their bond growing stronger. That night at work, they pretend everything's normal, but Strickland's suspicious. He questions Elisa and Zelda, realizing whoever pulled off the escape couldn't have been just cleaning staff. Still, he lets them go. Meanwhile, Giles is watching over the creature at his apartment, but when he dozes off, the amphibian man hears the TV and wanders out of the bathroom. He finds one of Giles's cats and eats her. I'm done. Giles walks in, horrified. He yells at the creature, scaring him. The creature lashes out, hurting Giles, and runs out of the apartment. Just before Elisa and Zelda leave work, Hofstetler gives them another care package for the creature. Elisa thanks him and tells him her plan to release the creature into the ocean. She calls him a good man. Suddenly, Elisa gets a phone call. It's Giles. The creature is gone. She rushes back to the apartments. She finds the amphibian man in the downstairs cinema, drawn in by the sounds of the films and mesmerized by what he sees. They share a tender moment before heading back to tend to Giles. The creature now knows cats are off limits. He gently places a hand on Giles's head, and something incredible happens. His wound starts to glow and heal. It's almost magical. Back at the facility, Strickland calls Hofstetler into his office. He's growing suspicious of his involvement. Meanwhile, Elisa and the creature fall deeply in love. One morning, Elisa invites him to get intimate. She undresses in the bathroom, open and vulnerable. The next night at work, Zelda notices Elisa's glow and puts 2 and 2 together. She's shocked when Elisa confirms it. Zelda warns her, never trust a man, even if he looks smooth down there. Soon after, Hofstetler gets a visit from Soviet agents. They think the creature is dead. Hofstetler gets ready to defend himself, but the agents leave, saying they'll be in touch again. Time passes, and Elisa and the creature grow closer. One day, Elisa nearly floods the bathroom, making a mini aquarium for him. Giles finds them just in time to stop the water, but he doesn't scold them. In fact, he starts to believe the creature is a god. After all, he healed his wound and even made his hair grow back. Hofstetler receives a call. His extraction is set. Elisa checks the docks and notices the creature isn't doing well. He's getting sick from being out of water too long. Meanwhile, Strickland is under pressure. A general pays him a visit and tells him to find the creature fast, or lose his job. Elisa knows it's time. During dinner, she tells the creature she loves him. She tells Zelda everything, and Zelda encourages her to release him that night. Zelda tries to call Hofstetler for help, but misses him. He's already gone to the meeting point. Strickland, still suspicious, secretly follows Hofstetler. But there's no extraction. The Soviet agents betray Hofstetler and shoot him. Strickland arrives, kills the agents, and tortures Hofstetler for information. In his final moments, Hofstetler reveals the truth. It was the cleaning staff who released the creature. Strickland storms over to Zelda's house, demanding answers. Her husband stands up for her, saying she'll never betray her friend. After he leaves, Zelda warns Elisa, and she and Giles rush to the canals. Numbed, they get there just in time to say goodbye to the creature. But Strickland finds Elisa's calendar and figures out where they are. He shows up and without hesitation shoots both Elisa and the creature. Giles steps in, fighting Strickland. The amphibian man, wounded but not defeated, heals himself and rises. He kills Strickland. With Zelda and Giles watching, he picks up Elisa and jumps into the water. Beneath the surface, something amazing happens. The creature heals her. She begins to breathe, not through lungs, but through gills on her neck. They weren't scars. They were part of who she really is. Together, they disappear into the water, free. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.